Today, jury selection begins in a critical phase of the trial of Andrea Yates, accused of drowning her 5 children. But how will she be able to save her own life?
That may have been the last shot Michael Jordan will ever take in the NBA.
It's early this Tuesday morning, the 11th of September, 2001.
From the heart of New York City, on Fifth Avenue at Trump Plaza, it's Bryant Gumbel and Jane Clayson. This is The Early Show on CBS.
And good morning. Welcome to The Early Show on this Tuesday morning here with Jane Clayson. I'm Bryant Gumbel, and a lot of Bulls fans are set to become Wizards fans, I guess.
He's back.
You think?
Yeah, well, that's what he says. He says he's doing it for the love of the game.
Is he going to embarrass himself, you think?
I think. The best ever, Michael Jordan, one of the best ever, at least.
38, going against some of these young kids?
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Also ahead this morning, we'll consider the state of our struggling economy with the president's point man on business. We'll get into the debate over whether Andrea Yates should face the death penalty for drowning her 5 kids. Actress Heather Graham has 5 new films due out this fall. We'll talk with her. And from Everybody Loves Raymond, Ray Romano and Peter Boyle will be here, too.
Rainfall yesterday mainly to the east of the metro area, making its way well offshore. And if you notice on the right of your screen there, those are the outer edges, the outer cloud bands of Hurricane Erin, coming pretty close to the U.S. mainland, but will not affect us. The only effect really it does have is some large sea swells along the beaches and some dangerous rip currents. But we're looking at a delightful day. Currently 64 degrees. It's 59 at Dulles and many of the suburbs into the 50s. Northwest wind at 12. Will start to diminish somewhat today, but look for a sunny, dry day today, just absolutely pleasant, a high of 80. And it gets even cooler. Wait till you see the 5-day forecast. I love to say that.
Spinning.
On the court, he's done it all, winning 10 scoring titles in 13 years, leading the Chicago Bulls to 6 world championships, becoming arguably the greatest basketball player ever. And last night in Chicago, the Associated Press says Michael Jordan, quote, all but confirmed he's coming back to the NBA to play for the lowly Washington Wizards. I'm doing it, Jordan told the AP, for the love of the game, nothing else.
I know he's going to play great, but will he be comfortable at 75% of being Michael Jordan of yesteryear? See, he's not going to be the same Michael Jordan.
Later, told of those reports, Jordan said he had confirmed nothing, adding that until he could grade his physical condition 10 on a scale of 10, and that he's now a 7.5 or maybe 8, he's not sure what he'll do. Still, reports that Jordan would make an official announcement within 10 days electrified Washington fans.
Americans are increasingly concerned about the economy, and the White House is under increasing pressure from Republicans and Democrats to do something about it. According to a new ABC News Washington Post poll, a majority of Americans believe the economy is heading into a recession, and 57% of those surveyed would reduce the president's tax cut to protect the government's surplus. Moments ago, I asked Commerce Secretary Don Evans what the administration is doing about the faltering economy. In a new ABC News Washington Post poll, more than half of the people we talked to, 53% in fact, say the country is heading into a recession. What can the White House do about that?
Well, the president has shown leadership on this issue from the first day he took office, Claire. He started talking about the economy he talked about it throughout the campaign. He talked about a tax cut throughout the course of the campaign. The first day he took office, he talked about a tax cut, and now we passed a tax cut. He talked about a comprehensive national energy plan that Congress needs to pass. We have a comprehensive national energy plan. We can bring energy prices down. That will help stimulate economic growth and create more jobs.
There are a lot of Republicans on Capitol Hill grumbling that the White House hasn't moved fast enough to try to curb the economic downfall.
Well, I'm not hearing that, Claire. I mean, I don't know. He moved as fast as he possibly could from the first day in office. He was talking about tax cuts, and the tax cuts did get passed late in the spring. Those checks, the rebate checks, are going out now. The first day in office, he talked about a national energy plan. He's presented it to Congress. He's waiting on Congress to pass that. He's been talking about trade for the last 6 or 7 months. He's waiting on Congress to present to him trade promotion authority so he can open up markets for American workers and American businesses all around the world.
Kira Phillips has the other news today. Morning, Kira.
Hi, guys. Good. I can't see Michael Jordan being unhealthy. It just doesn't mix. You know what I mean? All right. Well, we got other news stories to talk about. We're going to start in Houston, Texas, where jurors will be chosen this morning to decide if a mother accused of drowning her 5 children is fit to stand trial. The competency hearing for Andrea Yates is expected to begin tomorrow. She's accused of drowning her children June 20th in the bathtub of the family's Houston home. Relatives say Yates has been treated for severe postpartum depression. Elizabeth Dole is expected to announce today that she's running for the U.S. Senate in North Carolina. Dole will make the announcement in her hometown of Salisbury. The seat is being vacated by Senator Jesse Helms. Dole has headed the Departments of Transportation and Labor and is former president of the American Red Cross. Iraq is claiming it has shot down a second U.S. spy plane, but so far reports from Baghdad make no mention of any pilot. The plane reportedly went down near the southern Iraqi city of Basra, and the Pentagon confirms it has lost contact with an unmanned plane. 2 weeks ago, Iraq said it shot down another unmanned spy plane. The U.S. admitted the loss, but said the plane may have crashed on its own. Well, those 64 stem cell lines now used by researchers worldwide may not be enough to support future research. That's the word from the National Academy of Sciences. And CNN medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen is here now to explain. Elizabeth, let's start with why the scientists believe that they need more.
Well, they say that there are several limitations of the stem cell lines that are out there. For example, they say that eventually they're going to get old and they could start to contain genetic mutations. Now, that would be a problem because you can't make the kind of treatments that you want to make with genetic mutations. Another problem, they say, is that these 64 lines were made using mouse cells. These stem cells needed to eat something, so they gave them mouse cells to eat. That also would be a problem when people want to turn these stem cells into actual medical treatments for human beings. So the National Academy of Sciences says we need more stem cell lines than just the 64 that President Bush approved for federal funding, and those also need to have federal funding.
That's a look at the news this morning. Now here's Brian.
All right, Julie, thank you. Although the chairman of his Council of Economic Advisors has said there's no rush to immediately do something, President Bush is facing heavy pressure to do more for the struggling economy. Bill Plant is at the White House with a look at the president's day and his challenge. Bill, good morning.
Brian, good morning to you. That's right. The president is in Florida talking about education, not about the economy. But Republicans in Congress remain very concerned about the state of the sagging economy. The Senate Minority Leader yesterday pushed for a cut in the marginal tax rate for capital gains, in addition to what's already been done.
We had a good budget. The tax cuts and the interest rates cuts are going to have some effect. It's a question of will they have enough effect soon enough.
If they don't take effect quickly, Congress will have no choice but to spend money from the surplus, which the president has promised to dedicate to Social Security. That makes Republicans nervous.
The good news is this is not an election year.
Mr. Bush wants to wait a bit and see if the combination of his tax cut and the cuts in interest rates do succeed in spurring economic growth.
Probably what is called for right now is really watchful waiting. These medicines take time, and it would be a mistake to overreact to the current situation.
Watchful waiting is what it's all about, but the president's men keep saying that he's still open to other ideas. Brian?
Bill Plant, thank you.
Sports Illustrated, CNN.com, and Michael talked to them for about a half an hour, and he said he would be coming back, that his knee was a little sore, but he thought that it would be okay. And he also talked a little bit about his basketball philosophy. A lot of people wondered after all his championships with the Bulls how he could deal playing with a team like the Wizards, which, let's face it, it doesn't look like you guys are going to win any championships anytime soon. But Michael said that he was okay with that his attitude towards basketball had matured. And he says, what's wrong with helping kids find their way and teaching them the right way? And he said the bottom line is, I love this game and I want to get back in it. Here in Chicago, we are expecting that he'll be back. You were saying, of course, that if he does make the comeback, the first game will be in New York on October 30th. Here on Chicago, we're looking forward to the January 19th game. That's when he'd come to play here with the Wizards. Everybody's talking about it already. Of course, yesterday, the Chicago reporter asked Michael, did you ever think about making another comeback with the Bulls? And Michael said, no, they had their chance. Obviously, he still has a lot of bitter feelings towards Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the Bulls, and the Bulls general manager, Jerry Krause. In fact, fact, when asked about that January 19th game, he at first said, I'll sit that one out, but then he started to laugh a little bit and said, no, it would be great for the Chicago fans, and of course I would play.
Well, Ann Kavanaugh, we want to thank you very much for joining us this early morning with the real insight from Chicago. Thanks very much. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
Okay, and we're jealous here that you're going to get Michael.
That's all right.
We had him first.
You got the Sears Tower. Thanks a lot, Ann. Well, when you get in your car for this morning's drive to work, chances are you're going to tune into one of the region's several morning radio shows.
But you may hear something a little different coming from one of the airways. We're going to go live to Z104 this hour, where the entire morning show now has a corporate sponsor, and it's a name you'll recognize.
Also ahead, we're going to tell you how some area commuters are in for a free ride to work. That's coming up soon.
Plus, more on our top story. Michael Jordan's expected return to basketball as a player for the Wizards. Andy Poland's going to weigh in. Stay with us.
And there's a low-pressure system off the coast of Florida that may become a tropical system as well. So a lot of activity in the Atlantic today. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Well, we have had a cool, refreshing change overnight. Good morning. I'm meteorologist Tom Curine. Temperature here at Northwest down to 63. In the suburbs, it has dipped down into the 50s this morning. The afternoon high should make it into the low 80s. It'll be a bit breezy today, but comfortably dry and bright sunshine. Another chilly evening. In fact, widespread 50s common by dawn tomorrow. During the day tomorrow afternoon, should be up in the upper 70s. Then Thursday evening, there's a chance of a passing shower. Otherwise, we have dry weather and cooler weather into the weekend.
That's your latest weather. Now here's Matt.
All right, Al, thank you very much. On Close Up this morning, the sputtering economy. Members of Congress are asking President Bush to do more to turn things around. NBC's David Gregory is traveling with the president. He's in Longboat Key, Florida this morning. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. The president's in the middle of a two-day swing here in Florida to promote his education plan, which is stuck in Congress. But as you mentioned, with the economy slide, his advisors know such initiatives are attracting little attention.
In Jacksonville Monday, the president dodged questions about whether more tax cuts are necessary to arrest the economy's fall. But top Republicans who are pressuring the White House to do more to stave off the political effects of a recession signal the president is close to backing a capital gains tax cut. Republicans may be willing to link such a cut with a reduction of the Social Security payroll tax to attract support from Democrats.
Well, I have no doubt that President Bush supports the idea of capital gains tax rate cut. It's not a question of if, it's when.
A cut in the capital gains tax could provide crucial help to the White House because many believe the move would actually produce more government revenue as people sell off assets.
Mental health professionals and what they bring to the table.
All right, our thanks to Joelle and Demetrius. Glad to have you with us, and thanks for getting up so early out there.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's now 14 minutes past, Charlie.
Then we turn to dietary supplements. Can they help cure dreaded diseases, or are some of them snake oil? That's what Senator John Breaux is set to find out at yesterday's Capitol Hill hearings. Dietary supplements are a $30 billion business in this country. Yesterday, one company's executive blew the whistle on some fake claims while another refused to answer questions. ABC's Linda Douglas has more on what was a dramatic Capitol Hill confrontation.
Glenn Braswell was hauled up to Capitol Hill to explain the astonishing health claims made by his Gerovita dietary supplement empire. His mail-order magazine, the Journal of Longevity, offers products that promise to reverse aging, restore sexual power, improve memory, prevent cancer. Unfortunately for Braswell, one of his magazines was sent to Lois Breaux, the wife of Senator Breaux, chairman of the Aging Committee.
I said, my goodness, this cures everything, and it'll make you young forever. I mean, it's like the key to the fountain of youth.
In other words, too good to be true. Breaux launched an investigation, but when he tried to ask Braswell under oath about his business, Braswell took the Fifth Amendment.
Do you really use any of these products that are advertised in that Journal of Longevity yourself?
On advice of counsel, I served the privilege.
In 1983, Braswell served prison time for falsifying photos to promote a so-called cure for baldness. In January, he was pardoned by President Clinton. By then, he was already the target of a new investigation for alleged money laundering. One of his former employees testified that Braswell's multi-million-dollar alternative medicine business is a sham aimed at gullible seniors.
One product claims to improve memory, sex drive, and reduce his chance of heart attacks by 83%.
product could not possibly deliver what's promised in the advertising.
The supplement business is a $27 billion a year industry, largely unregulated. Government investigators testified some products are useless or dangerous, especially for seniors. The senators did not call for more government regulation of the herbal supplement business, but they did remind the aging baby boom generation that there is no magic cure for getting old.
Does that have, so that really has more to do with her state of mind today and not her state of mind during the act of killing children?
Correct. It's only for today. It's her state of mind right now today. The other, what her state of mind during the incident, that's a totally different subject.
A totally different matter. All right. Family is being called to testify during this competency hearing. What sorts of questions are they likely to be asked?
They'll be asked about how they see her now, how she relates to them when they visit her in prison, how she is compared to what she would be normally.
And as far as her medical history, I mean, she was treated for depression in 1999. She was also diagnosed with postpartum psychosis, and she had a series of suicide attempts. How is that likely to play into this issue of whether she is competent to stand trial?
Well, that sets some background to talk about her being mentally ill, but really it has nothing to do with how she is today. How her functioning is today is the real question, not her history in the past.
And if she, and you don't know this to be a fact, but if she was incompetent at the time of her arrest, she could also be receiving treatment during her jail time leading up to this hearing that would, in effect, make her competent to stand trial. They could get her in enough of a good shape mentally to actually stand trial. Is that correct?
That's correct, and that's the usual case.
That is the usual case.
That is the usual case. People who have mental illness are able to be restored to competency.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Donald Morgan, forensic psychiatrist, for joining us. Vince?
Well, lots of people have some big concerns about the direction of the economy. We'll talk about them with one of the president's top men. That's just ahead.
System anymore, so they just don't want to pay the taxes.
Education is a top priority in almost every national poll, but creeping concerns about the economy are starting to blow the whistle on funding for extras. Without taxpayer support, varsity football will now cost $1,029. Girls soccer and field hockey, more than $400 each.
Yes.
Even cheerleading now has a price.
Is what happened at this school a wake-up call for the rest of the country?
I think it is because...
As a mother, Karen Harrington says she's seen a subtle shift.
People are tax weary, and there are a lot of expenses now, and the economy, you know, is changing now.
And the school's principal seems helpless to stop it.
There's lots of schools that have user fees, but I don't know if any of them have them as high as ours.
And is that frustrating?
It's embarrassing.
For the school and for parents.
We go to scrimmage some of the schools, and they've got 100 kids show up for football, and we have 30 because of this.
Already, participation is down 20% just since the fees were announced. Any lower than that, some fear, and some programs may have to be scrapped altogether.
It affects everything, all sports. Our cross-country team lose 6 kids that ran last year that they're not going to have this year. We've won 3 straight league championships.
Not this year?
Not this year.
I think there's such respect for Michael Jordan that they are like the rest of us. They're intrigued by this. They're excited. And Jordan, you know, there's been some question as to whether he would want to come back to a team that would have very little chance to win a title. Right. And as he said in Chicago last night, he said, you know, there's some joy in helping younger players. That can be equated to winning. And I think he's excited about the chance to work with younger players and help them become better.
Ticket sales, I mean, boy, the Wizards would have to be going like this over the prospect of Jordan coming, right?
Yeah, well, I understand ticket sales have been going very well anyway. And if this, in fact, is true, I think it's going to be a very tough ticket next year at the MCI Center.
All right, let's just turn to the Redskins for a moment and what's happening there. I guess Marty and Jeff George are going to have a little talk. What are you hearing?
Yeah, you know, Marty Schottenheimer had maintained throughout the preseason he was a one-quarterback guy. There will be no quarterback controversy. And then, as we all watched the game on Sunday, we were shocked to see Tony Banks go in the third quarter. And Marty said yesterday that he still hadn't made up his mind. He still hadn't talked to Jeff George. But all indications are that George will start on Sunday against Arizona, and I think he has to do it.
Why?
Because if he puts Jeff George on the bench, he may lose him emotionally and mentally for the rest of the season.
And what would be wrong with that after Sunday's game?
I guess it doesn't matter. But, you know, they got Tony Banks off the scrap heap at the last minute. He hardly figured in their long-term plans a couple of months ago. So if he is the best that the Redskins have to put out there at quarterback, it's got to make you worry a little bit.
All right. Thanks, Andy Pollin from Sports Radio WTEM, and we're all watching for the Jordan comeback. Michael, over to you. Anything new in the last 5 minutes? Okay.
No, just you taking the hard line on Jeff George. Well, a new book is shedding some intriguing light on last year's historic election showdown. Newsweek reporter David Kaplan examines the Supreme Court decision which made George W. Bush our president. How could that outcome have been different? Perhaps with a little more time? Well, Mr. Kaplan joins us live after 7:40. We're also finding out how a controversial performance-enhancing drug is being linked to a police training program that has injured some local troopers.
Next time on The Other Half.
You know what I think is really the greatest turn on? The back of a woman's knees.
Okay, Dick. Whatever. The world of women through the eyes of men. The Other Half. Today at 11 here on NBC4.
So, what's your favorite Entenmann's? I bet it's the ultimate crumb cake. Makusula. She loves the cinnamon crumbs. Tatalaba. It is moist. Ayun icing about oh. Entenmann's. What's your favorite?
Excuse me.
I know, just back straight up.
Thomas's Bagels? Fresh bagels from Thomas's. Golden outside, perfect texture inside. Thomas's makes great bagels. Thomas's.
Every time I tried to sleep at night, I would wake up coughing and basically gasping for air. I finally went to the doctor. He just said, look, you have a very big problem. You've been diagnosed with what is called congestive heart failure. Then my doctor put me on this medicine, and right away I started to feel a lot better. The drug has affected my life immensely in a great way. If I met a researcher today, I would probably give him or her a great big hug and a kiss.
Big kiss. Big kiss.
Not too big.
And I think that you're doing great work, and please continue.
Today, cable companies like AT&T control over 70% of high-speed internet connections because they compete under different rules than phone companies. Unless Congress acts, millions will be left behind or with only one choice, their cable company. Now a study says a delay in high-speed internet rollout could cost our economy $500 billion. Tozan Dingle guarantees access to inner cities and small towns and would add billions to our economy. Don't believe the static from AT&T. Pass Tozan Dingle.
Trains and commuter bus lines running into the district. The program is part of a Tri-Transit Week. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the forecast and traffic, too.
All I want to do is to thank you, even though I don't know who you are. You let me change lanes while I was driving in my car. All I want to do is to thank you, even though I don't know who you are. You let me change lanes driving in my car. Whoever you are, I want to thank you. Whoever you are, I want to thank you. Whoever you are.
Behind in the polls, Mark Earley's launched false attacks on Mark Warner. The press says Earley's taken the low road. His attacks are absurd, repulsive, ugly. Earley's claims about Mark Warner are dead wrong. Fabrication, a smear. They insult voters. It's typical old-style politics. Mark Earley, no positive plan. Negative ads that don't tell the truth. Virginia deserves better.
Looking for home furnishing of exceptional value and quality? Then come to Gallahan's and see a wide selection of the area's finest furniture, all at 30 to 50% off every day. Discover the unique shopping experience of Gallahan's. And right now, receive up to $1,000 back on Century Savoy. From traditional to transitional, Gallahan's is your complete home furnishing destination. Take I-95 south to Fredericksburg, Virginia. Come for the selection, buy for the discounts.
ABC 7 News, brought to you in part by Gallahan's Home Furnishings.
It's been busy on the roadways this morning. Let's check in again with Mickey Scarlotta. Hey, Mickey.
7 or 8 months,
but to little effect.
Moved from 6.5% to 3.5%. You know, the chairman has a good sense of this economy, and I'll leave it to him to decide where interest rates should be.
Donald Evans, it sounds like a lot of decisions still to be made by this administration. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Don Evans, Secretary of Commerce Department. Vince?
Well, we're going to go to break now, and Michael Jordan, our big story today. He knows how to give the basketball economy a bounce. We'll tell you why the former Bull says he can still be a whiz on the court. Wizards, that is. And in the next hour of CNN Live at daybreak, one of the biggest dangers in a hurricane may have nothing to do with the storm. We'll be right back.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
America trusts America Online to make everything easy.
It's just real simple to keep in touch with AOL.
Oh, I love hearing you've got mail.
Instant messages are so much fun.
And now AOL makes it easier to get health information with WebMD.
I discovered WebMD.
WebMD is America's leading source of health information online. Communities on everything from diabetes to weight loss.
Love the chat room.
A site that I trust.
AOL has got it all.
Now's the perfect time to experience America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. Call 1-800-4ONLINE.
Get to the point with Greta Van Susteren. It's a full half hour of straight questions and straight answers. The Point, tonight, 8:30 Eastern on CNN.
Are you one of the millions of American males who would like increased sexual energy? If you've been considering Viagra as a solution, consider something different. All-natural Enerx. Clinical studies show various ingredients of Enerx enhance sexual energy, increasing desire, performance, and satisfaction. Enerx is all natural with no side effects. With Enerx, you'll feel the increased energy within minutes and with no chemicals. We're so sure you and your mate will be completely satisfied. We'll offer you a 30-day, no questions asked, full refund. Enerx stimulates sexual energy by expanding the blood vessels, causing increased blood flow to specific areas of the body. Unleash the power of Enerx now.
9 Eyewitness News tonight at 11. New, updated, guaranteed.
We have this breaking news story.
Live and late breaking. 9 Eyewitness News brings you more new information every night.
Tonight, 9 Eyewitness News has learned that faced with the threat of
Plus, exclusive 9 Eyewitness News extras uncover and report new facts first at 11.
We found some sort of potentially hazardous medical waste.
For more new information first, watch 9 Eyewitness News at 11, where local news comes first.
Join me, Yamla, today at 10 a.m.
Back now, 7:30 on a Tuesday morning, and if, yes, you say the city looks clean right now, well, it really does, because we got a huge drenching yesterday. Man, they did come down. Wow.
It came down, and the lightning show that came with it.
It was pretty furious. Kind of stopped Roger Clemens from getting his 20th up at the stadium in the Bronx last night, but it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Coming up this morning on the early show in this half hour, we'll take a look at the new nationwide effort to reduce the number of heart attack deaths in this country. We'll also catch up with Julio Iglesias, who will be honored during tonight's big Latin Grammy Awards. Still looking as good as ever. That's coming up later.
Well, this morning in Houston, Texas, a jury will be chosen to consider whether Andrea Yates, who has admitted to killing all 5 of her children, is fit to stand trial. Although Yates has pleaded innocent by reason of insanity, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Bob McNamara reports.
Reports say Andrea Yates is slowly coming out of the trance-like state she displayed when facing murder charges last month. But whether the woman who admitted to drowning her 5 young children is competent to stand trial for murder will not be based on a mental condition that led to the killings.
This is more about competency, to understand what the lawyers are saying to her, to understand the nature of the charges against her now, rather than what her state of mind may have been at the time of the incident.
Though family photos disguise Yates' apparent history of chronic mental illness, defense attorneys are expected to portray her a victim. That 2 months before drowning her 5 children in a family bathtub, her husband checked her into a mental hospital after she'd filled the tub with water, but refused to say why.
Early October.
Well, equal with the speculation of Michael Jordan, the speculation about the weather. And here to settle that is Tom Sater.
All right, thank you, Michael. Across the country, if you are traveling, not
much in the way of troubles and woes. Just a little bit of morning fog in L.A., just like yesterday morning. That's it, really, with the exception of some thunderstorm activity down around Miami. So southern Florida's been inundated with heavy rainfall. The ground is totally saturated. There will be some minor flash flooding, so that's the only problem spot. There's been some shower activity, of course, in our neck of the woods yesterday afternoon. That's now offshore. New York City had some heavy rainfall, but Chicago, beautiful weather, only in the 70s from the Twin Cities down into our neck of the woods. In fact, we'll top out maybe at 80. Here's the line of thunderstorms and showers that moved through the area. They were scattered. Not everyone picked up on the rain. And you can see on the edge of your screen here, this is the outer bands here of Hurricane Erin. Looks dangerously close to the U.S. mainland, but the only effect we're going to see along the U.S. coastline, just some choppy seas, high surf. In some cases, they're getting sea swells 4 or 6 feet above average, and some dangerous rip currents along some of the beaches for swimmers there. But it's going to be heading north, so no effect for us. The cold front that moved through the area is going to help to kind of deflect Erin, as you see it here, more toward Nova Scotia. So they'll be keeping an eye on that. But it has been kind of losing its punch. Now, here's another little disturbance. Tropical Depression number 7 was classified, then downgraded, declassified, and reclassified again. So we're going to watch this one. If it does become a tropical storm, its name will be Felix. All right? We'll keep an eye on that one for you. We're 11 degrees cooler than we were yesterday. Yesterday we were hovering at 75 degrees, and now all morning long we've been hovering at 64. It's 59 at BWI, 55 at Dulles. The lowest temperature I could find is Manassas at 54 degrees, and it's going to get even cooler tomorrow morning. Look at all the 50s, 55 even out of Wichita and Denver. Here's a water vapor imagery. We look for the dark areas. That's the dry air, and you can see it from upstate New York all the way back into the Midwest. And that little bit of white, that's the moisture, so it's still leaving areas of the Carolinas.
Maybe you should give me your phone number. On October 5th.
Fate's telling us to back off.
You don't have the most incredible night of your life with a perfect stranger, then leave it all to chance, do you? No name. I gotta find this girl before I get married. No address.
I'm thinking about this mystery guy I met 1.5 million hours ago.
Just fate.
Once in your lifetime, someone comes along whom you're meant to be with. For my friend, that person was me.
Serendipity. Rated PG-13. In theaters everywhere, Friday, October 5th.
And now, I don't have my best friend around.
Little Debbie Crispy Bars. You can take them with you.
All skin is not created equal. It's more delicate around the eyes.
L'Oreal creates new Advanced Revitalift Eye, smooths with Pro-Retinol A, and firms with Paralastol. New Revitalift Eye, only from L'Oreal.
You're just 6 hours away from more beautiful eyes.
Good.
Boy, you sure love Campbell's tomato soup.
Runs in the family.
You always knew Campbell's was good.
My father ate Campbell's tomato for 70 years.
Diets rich in tomato products are associated with the reduced risk of certain types of cancer. And all of these Campbell's soups are full of tomato goodness.
So whatever became of your father?
Oh, he's up there somewhere.
Campbell's. Good.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cause you heard of the sign that I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get together and come back and see me. Yesterday, you've forgiven me, but it'll still be today till I say I'm sorry. Like vanilla, it's the finest of the flavors. And to see the show, cause then you know the girl goes at my door and it's a banger. It's your life to sign a waiver. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I had this reason in my day. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Dropped your ass to the side and said I'm sorry.
I don't think they publicized it well enough. I mean, we had no idea.
GE recalled these dishwashers, not once, but twice. First in 1999, and again a year later. Both recalls were fully approved by the Consumer Product Safety Commission, but neither washed with New York Attorney General Eliot Spitzer, claiming that not only the dishwasher, but the recall itself was defective. He sued General Electric last year.
GE has repeatedly, throughout this entire course of conduct, they have repeatedly refused to deal with a very simple reality, which is that they have responsibility for a product. If the product is a fire hazard, they have to repair it.
The first recall was unusual, arguing their 10 to 15-year-old dishwashers were beyond their life expectancy anyway. GE told many consumers repairs were not an option. Instead, The company offered rebates on new dishwashers. However, as we reported last year, repairs were an option General Electric offered only to big commercial customers who owned many dishwashers. For those important customers, General Electric even provided a repair kit and instructional video.
Take your cutting tool and cut the wires close to the switch as possible.
What they did was deceive the public about the magnitude of the problem, deceive the public about the ability to repair the product, and then try to run away from their responsibility at every turn. It's been shameful behavior on their behalf.
Then, last winter, after we reported on questions and lawsuits over that original recall, GE announced a second recall, which was supposed to include free repairs for everyone. You might think that would have satisfied Elliot Spitzer, but it didn't.
Because when the case ended up here in New York State Supreme Court in Manhattan, a judge using GE's own figures made an astonishing finding. Even after the second recall, more than half the phone calls from people requesting repairs were lost.
The judge ordered General Electric to pay back consumers in New York who were, in Spitzer's words, tricked into buying a new dishwasher. GE declined to be interviewed on camera. In a statement, it says it is asking the judge to reconsider her findings because her factual assumptions are incorrect.
And high-end department store Neiman Marcus posting a wider than expected loss for the quarter. After the close of trading yesterday, drug maker Pfizer gave investors some guidance. The company said earnings for this year and next are on track. And United Healthcare reaffirmed numbers for 2001. The second largest U.S. managed healthcare company also slightly raised estimates for 2002. And that is the latest business news. CNN Live at Daybreak returns after this.
Financial News Update is brought to you by Morgan Stanley, formerly Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected. Log on to cnnfm.com/financial news, your quick source for financial headlines.
The rules for making money have changed. Pinstripes, wingtips, that's not how it works anymore. Anybody can be the next big wheel, as long as they put their money in a better place. Welcome to the new Old Boys Club. Less old, less boys. Morgan Stanley. Move your money. Get well connected.
Two weeks into the project and he looks good. Fresh turkey good.
Good coloring.
Backside looks supple.
Let's get this one back home.
Well, that's not what your principal said.
What's for dinner?
Oh, looks like fresh turkey cutlets.
All right.
We're doing good work here.
At Juniper Farms, our mission is fresh turkey.
Save up to 80% buying Factory Direct. The Jewelry Factory makes most of their jewelry in their state-of-the-art factory, imports their diamonds direct, and guarantees the lowest price. Compare Tiffany's 1-carat platinum band for $5,800 with the Jewelry Factory's for $1,500. 1-carat hearts are $199, 2-carat bracelets $349, 1-carat studs $399. The Jewelry Factory has a huge selection and guarantees all the jewelry they make to appraise for at least double. Buy Factory Direct. The Jewelry Factory in Bethesda.
CBS Wednesday, the amazing race continues. The teams are off on the next leg of their top secret adventure.
Kevin, don't say anything!
It's the show critics give 4 stars.
Yeah.
A thrilling race around the world. More excitement than an Indiana Jones picture.
Get in the damn car!
They're already addicted.
No.
Don't miss the show that takes Survivor off the island and onto the road.
I'm not gonna quit.
The Amazing Race, an all-new episode, CBS Wednesday.
Talk about the fact some scholars are looking at the book and saying a different outcome in the high court still doesn't mean that Al Gore would have been president, that when you look at the scenarios going to the House or going to the legislature in Florida, George W. Bush could very well still be president.
I think George Bush very likely would still have been president. You might have had a Lieberman vice presidency if the election got thrown in to Congress. I think Lieberman could very well have won in the Senate, which was equally divided, but Bush would have won in the House. Criticizing the court doesn't mean you supported a Gore presidency. It just means you don't think that structurally the U.S. Supreme Court should have been involved. It should have been left to an elected branch of government like Congress, which is what the Constitution sets up as the branch of government to decide disputed presidential elections. You could have had a Gore presidency, though. Remember, if the recounts continued and Gore pulled ahead for a little while, he won the national popular vote. The only way you get a competing slate of electors then going to Congress is if the Florida legislature appoints one. And it could have been that in the face of Gore being ahead and a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that seemed to support recounts, the Florida legislature might have backed down, in which case you wouldn't have had two slates. You simply would have had one for Gore, ordered by the Florida Supreme Court, and that would have been the end of it. Yeah. So it's possible, but I think you're right. The Bush presidency is still the likely outcome.
So explain the title, then, The Accidental President. What was the accident?
Well, I meant to connote all of the different accidents that came together in the 37 days after Election Day. You've got the governor of Florida who just happens to be the brother of the GOP candidate, and that proved critical in Florida. All these accidents coming together tipped for George Bush, but if something had gone slightly differently, perhaps a different order of recounts in the 4 counties in Florida, or different standards in Palm Beach that were the Chad standards being the same that were used in Broward County, it might have gone for Gore. But as I note early on in the book, had it been a Gore presidency, I would have called him the accidental president. It's not a dig at President Bush. It's just the notion that this was essentially a tied election, and it easily could have gone either way.
If there's one thing you want people, and not just CEOs, who probably are going to snap this book up pretty quickly, but regular people, to take from the book, what would it be?
Everybody's got a shot. I'm a lucky guy, a modest background, got some luck, had some breaks. This is a great country. It's a great shot for everyone. I hope this is not just business people buying this book. I hope it's mothers like mine selling it to their kids, showing their kids how lucky you can be. All you have to do is put your nose against the grindstone, take some bounces. It works.
2 last things. You concerned about the economy? You bullish? You bearish? What should the average investor do right now?
Well, I think we're getting pretty close to the bottom. When it swings back, I don't know. Timing, market timing is always very tough to pick. But things are tough.
If you could have a mulligan, Jack, on any decision you've made in the last 20 years, which would it be?
I don't take mulligans.
I'm going to hold you to that the next time we hit the course. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
It's
Great
been
to
a
be with
pleasure.
you. Thanks a lot.
And if you'd like to read an excerpt from Jack straight from the gut, you can log on to your website or our website at today.msnbc.com, or you can check out any street corner. Jack's going to be handing the book out here in New York. It's 7:46. Up next, Senator Ted Kennedy right after this.
Everyone knows Santa Claus, but behind the magic is a massive global operation. This is Santa's Workshop 2001. We work with UPS to bring in raw materials, produce goods, wrapping paper, ground, overnight, international, you name it. Just this morning, I had a shipment of candy canes stuck in customs in Belgium. And one call to my UPS rep straightened the whole thing out. There have been instances where the naughty got toys and the nice got coal. But it's not going to happen on my watch.
Point. Shoot. Create. The HP Pavilion 7970 with the Intel Pentium 4 processor. How will you use it? Save up to $250 by mail on the HP Digital Photography Studio.
Let's talk germs, okay? This is New Dial Complete.
It's no ordinary soap. It's antibacterial foaming hand wash. Dial Complete is 10 times more effective at killing germs than ordinary liquid soaps. Rinse is cleaner and it's milder. Huh? You got kids, pets, boyfriends? Then let's review. More germ-killing power, plus rinse is cleaner, plus milder, equals a complete clean of Dial Complete. Can your soap do that?
Aren't you glad you used Dial?
The Heartburn Hotel. If you suffer persistent heartburn 2 days a week or more, despite diet change and treatment, it may be acid reflux disease. Prescription Prevacid can mean 24-hour relief from acid reflux disease. Prevacid turns off tiny pumps that produce acid. It has a low occurrence of side effects, such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Ask your doctor if Prevacid is right for you.
So leave your heartburn behind.
Wednesday, all day, it's Macy's Super One-Day Sale. Use your extra savings coupons. Jewelry 30 to 50% off, plus an extra 15% off selections. Sportswear for her, an extra 30 to 40% off. Men's sweaters and sports shirts, $19.99 to $29.99. Lily and Ashley bed in a bag, $49.99 with coupon. Tools of the Trade 14-piece cook set, $49.99. Macy's Super One-Day Sale, Wednesday. Preview Day Tuesday, open 9 a.m.
In the global energy business, no one covers more ground than the fast cats. Conoco, think big, move fast.
There they are. There they are. There they are.
Excuse me.
Hey, Ma.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm okay. Just a little dizzy. Where's Stanley?
How will you make your money last when you retire? Conseco offers a wide variety of retirement products that can help. Conseco, step up.
Burden of Proof, weekdays, 12:30 Eastern on CNN.
Hi, my name is Anika Rabiu. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I would like to ask CNN, how does an aspiring model become a model?
The ways in which one can become a model are endless. A girl can be scouted at the mall, walking down the street, working as a waitress in a restaurant. Someone can just send their pictures into an agency. They can go to a modeling convention. It's just any way that anyone can see you. We at Click look for girls who are minimum at 5'9" and under 21 to begin. And we can find those girls everywhere. And what we ask them to do is either to send in their Polaroids or send in their snapshots so that we can get a line of their body and their bone structure.
Ask CNN is brought to you by Sir Speedy Printing Copying Digital Network. For outstanding document solution and the center near you, visit sirspeedy.com.
Something in your head saying, I'm not feeling completely perfect. I think I should get this checked out.
So what do you do if you have that feeling?
If you have that feeling, you should call 911. You should not drive yourself to the hospital. You should not call your neighbor to drive you to the hospital. You should not call your friends and family to survey whether or not they would give you permission to go to the hospital. That's a really big issue. A lot of people feel they need permission to get checked out. You don't need permission to get checked out. You want to call 911 and do what they tell you as far as the dispatcher and the paramedics do when they arrive.
And also this idea of taking an aspirin, that'll make you feel better immediately.
Well, this message has gotten a little bit garbled. People are now taking aspirins in lieu of calling 911, or they're driving themselves to the drugstore to buy an aspirin to see if the pain doesn't go away. Wrong message. Aspirin should be given by the people who arrive on the scene or over the phone as they tell you what to do. Taking an aspirin will not treat you for a heart attack at home. It's not a home cure for a heart attack.
And as you said at the beginning, a 1-hour window of opportunity, really, is what we're talking about.
Exactly.
All right, Emily, thank you as always.
Okay, Jane.
7:52 now. In our next hour, Ray Romano from Everybody Loves Raymond. We're back after this.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Flonase Nasal Spray. Ask your doctor for more information.
You've
try anything to get some relief from your nasal allergy symptoms. But before you change your life, make an easier change. Multi-Symptom Flonase relieves all these nasal allergy symptoms: sneezing, itchy, runny nose, and congestion. Flonase once a day relieves them all day and night. For best results, use daily. Side effects are generally mild and may include headache, nosebleed, or sore throat. Ask your doctor about Multi-Symptom Flonase. When you get it all it takes is Flonase.
Dollar crate?
It's close. Maybe a little bigger here?
Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, people, this is what we're looking for.
We'll find it, man.
I just turned around for a second.
Order Cox Cable and get installed for only $4.95 and get HBO and Cinemax for $13.99. Call today.
Behind in the polls, Mark Earley's launched false attacks on Mark Warner. The press says Earley's taken the low road. His attacks are absurd, repulsive, ugly. Earley's claims about Mark Warner are dead wrong. Fabrication, a smear. They insult voters. It's typical old-style politics. Mark Earley, no positive plan. Negative ads that don't tell the truth. Virginia deserves better.
Wow, great designer.
It's Designer Week at Ross. The latest in career and casual clothing at unbelievable savings. Better hurry.
Wings are soaring again over the D.C. area, and wildlife officials are praising their return. 30 years ago, the bald eagle was almost extinct nationwide. Now it's made a miraculous comeback. Fox 5's Karen Gray Houston shows you where you can spot the famous American bird in our area.
So graceful, so majestic. You can see why the bald eagle is our national symbol. For so many years, it was missing from the skies and trees along the shores of Maryland and Virginia. But now, it's back.
It's basic biology. Maintain the habitat and the birds come back.
Wildlife biologist Joe Witt counts bald eagles 3 times in the spring and 3 times in the fall. He takes out surveyors like this volunteer biologist to monitor how they're doing.
I'm trying to get a sense of the river. How many birds we have on the river, where they're using it, and how they're not using it.
Think he's gonna make it?
Yeah, these guys are good.
Yeah.
At Sears Auto Center, we install your tires in less than an hour, or you get a $20 Sears gift card. Sears, where else?
Did you want to be alone?
Oh, no.
No?
Not at all.
Okay.
The irony is I started doing this to be part of the crowd.
Yeah,
and now...
me too.
Oh, do you...
No, I just quit. Nicoderm CQ.
Aren't the cravings unbearable?
Well, I'm not jumping, if that's what you're thinking. No. CQ is good on the cravings. It's strong medicine. It's with you 24 hours. It works.
Nicoderm CQ. Now in a clear patch, too. For a more personal way to quit.
Quit, huh?
Hey, join the crowd.
This is a News 4 Today news break.
Look at this day we have here in the nation's capital. Absolutely gorgeous out there, 65 degrees if you like it, a little bit on the chilly side. We'll check the forecast and the rush hour coming up shortly. Good morning, everyone. I'm Barbara Harrison. It's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. In the news, work crews will start installing monitoring equipment today in a northeast Washington neighborhood, looking for signs of gasoline contamination. The gasoline leaked from a service station on the Maryland side of Eastern Avenue near Riggs Road 10 years ago. But now tests are being done to see if the gas has spread over the district line. In a story first on 4, police in Prince George's County are looking for more people who may have been involved in an unusual theft ring. The suspects are accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of appliances from new homes under construction. The man accused of being the mastermind of the operation has now been arrested. Police are now trying to return the stolen items. And Montgomery County is set to consider what could be the first county-wide development tax. The County Council is expected to begin the process today. The tax would loosen restrictions on growth around metro stops, but would discourage development elsewhere. This year's plan is said to be closer to what County Executive Doug Duncan wants, but he thinks it still needs some work. We're going to come back with our forecast for you in a moment. Also, look at traffic. Stay with us.
This News 4 Today news break is sponsored by Frugal Fannies.
Let me show you what your ride looks like in Montgomery County coming down southbound 270 near Germantown. As you can see, very heavy volume, but all your lanes are reported open on both the main lanes and the express lanes all the way down in the lane divide. Just very slow traffic. Now let me show you what your ride looks like on northbound 95 at that Springfield interchange. It has been a bear all morning coming up from Woodbridge all the way to Newington, then over here at the Springfield interchange. Very slow traffic, but all your earlier accidents are out of the roadway. We did have a car fire at 7100. That has been pushed out of the road. Now let's go to Alexandra with a look at the forecast.
Thanks, Mickey. Well, tonight's forecast will certainly, and the road conditions will be better because we've got smooth sailing with our skies. Mostly sunny, 75 at lunchtime. Expect a comfortable afternoon, high of 81. Clear and chilly tonight, once again in the upper 50s and low 60s. Tomorrow, really repeat performance, mostly sunny and upper 70s. And then Thursday afternoon, an isolated shower or two in the afternoon. And then behind that, clear and even chillier for the weekend ahead. Carol?
Thanks, Alexandra. We'll see you again at 8:25. You make it a great day.
Today, cable companies like AT&T control over 70% of high-speed internet connections because they compete under different rules than phone companies. Unless Congress acts, millions will be left behind or with only one choice, their cable company. Now a study says a delay in high-speed internet rollout could cost our economy $500 billion. Toza and Dingle guarantees access to inner cities and small towns and would add billions to our economy. Don't believe the static from AT&T. Pass Toza and Dingle.
Bring it in, fellas. There we go. Come on, hustle up now. Come on. There we go. Oh, there you go. There you go. Hit the pad. Hit the pad. There we go. There we go. Ow.
For a fast appointment with a great doctor, call 202-877-DOCS.
You're never too young to be fashionable. Let's see whose shorts you got on. Oh, Ralph Lauren, nice, very nice. Some guys like to let the band of their underwear show.
That's his own little fashion trend because it's his diaper, it's not underwear.
Lo and behold. Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
Well, now that Jeannie has hit below the belt this morning, we're going to have CNN's Gail O'Neill, former model. She's going to be reporting on the ins and outs of Fashion Week in the next hour.
We love fashion. We love serving you. CNN Live at Daybreak continues right now.
This is CNN.
No bull. Michael Jordan hints he'll return to the court, this time as a Washington Wizard. Extensive coverage in this hour. There is something in the air.
It is 8 a.m. in Salisbury, North Carolina, 7 a.m. in Chicago, 5 a.m. in Calaveras County, California, where the news is being made on this Tuesday, September 11th.
From CNN Center in Atlanta, this is CNN Live at Daybreak. Good morning, I'm Vince Cellini.
And I'm Carol Lynn.
And we have lots to talk about in this next hour, lots of sports stuff, so I'm feeling good. It's been 3 years since Michael Jordan played in the NBA, June of '98, in fact. And he's got some knee troubles, so he's a little bit older. Some wonder if he has what it takes to make the grade in the NBA. We'll talk about that as he plans this comeback.
That's right, and at a time when government is shrinking, the U.S. Capitol is expanding. You're going to be talking to former Senator John Glenn about this new model of this visitor center, which at times was controversial, but I think it's kind of exciting that it's going to finally open up.
It really is. You know, the Capitol building is a 19th century building. I think it might be time for some renovation to get visitors in there.
Time to remodel.
It's a great project. But right now, we want to get a look at weather. Dave Hennon is with us. Dave, what do you got?
Hi, Dave.
Good morning, Carol and Vince. Watching Florida, that's where the problem area is expected again today. We certainly saw it yesterday. Much of South Florida saw some flooding yesterday. More heavy rains in the forecast today. Here's the radar. If you look very closely, see this counterclockwise circulation. That is an area of low pressure that is located in the Gulf of Mexico, being watched very closely by the National Hurricane Center for possible tropical development over the next couple of days.
Thank you, Bill Plant at the White House this morning. First Lady Laura Bush testifies on Capitol Hill today about early childhood education issues. It will be a rare, high-profile appearance for the First Lady. Among the Senate committee members she'll face is her predecessor, Hillary Clinton. Former presidential candidate Elizabeth Dole is ready to hit the campaign trail in North Carolina. Dole is expected to announce today that she's running for Jesse Helms' Senate seat. She's reportedly planning a 100-county tour of the state. The latest word from Michael Jordan is he's just about ready to come back and play pro basketball. Jordan, who already came back from retirement once, said Monday he'll announce his decision next week. But he also said that he is, in his words, doing it for the love of the game. At 7:02 this morning, the owner of the gym where Jordan works out told Jane he still has it.
He plays in a camp with several NBA players, such as, Juwan Howard, Michael Finley, Penny Hardaway, Tim Hardaway, Antoine Walker, and he's certainly competitive with them.
Jordan says the risk of knee problems is the one thing that could prevent him from coming back. The Old Farmer's Almanac is out with its winter predictions. They say this winter will be a mild one for most of the nation, except for the Pacific Northwest, where colder temperatures and above-average snowfall is forecast. Now here's Dan Rather with a preview of tonight's CBS Evening News.
Tonight on CBS, residents say noise from fighter jets flying overhead is driving them crazy. The military says it's part of the price we pay for freedom. What's a patriot to do? The story on tonight's CBS Evening News.
And that is the news this morning. Now here's Jane.
Thank you, Julie. Before her passing in 1998, ventriloquist Sherry Lewis and her sock puppet sidekick Lamb Chop entertained children of all ages for more than 50 years. Now her daughter Mallory has stepped into her mother's considerable shoes and has brought back Lamb Chop for everybody. Good morning to you, Mallory.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lamb Chop.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Oh, it's so good to be seen.
Why did you decide, Mallory, to bring Lamb Chop back after your mom's death?
Well, it wasn't really my decision. I mean, no, it was my decision. I took off a couple of months to be sad, and then I said, no, here I come, I'm back.
Meanwhile, logging on to Ticketmaster shows sales of individual game tickets won't start until October 1st. Michael.
I want to turn to some other news now. A California grand jury has thrown out an obstruction of justice claim against Congressman Gary Condit. Flight attendant Anne Marie Smith accused Condit of asking her to sign an affidavit stating that the two did not have an affair. Yesterday, though, the grand jury voted to take no action because the claim was filed in the wrong jurisdiction. Smith's attorney says she does plan to refile that complaint. Montgomery County has reportedly settled a lawsuit filed against them by a disabled woman who says that she and her service dog were kept off county-owned buses. Deborah Hallman says she was not allowed on ride-on buses with her dog. The dog is state tagged and trained to protect her from injury during any possible epileptic seizure. The Washington Post reports that the county has reached a settlement for an undisclosed amount. Laura?
Police in the district say they need your help to find two girls who disappeared from Northeast Washington. 14-year-old Yolanda Beard and 3-year-old Shantae Adams were last seen around 5 p.m. Sunday. Police say the girls were in the 2200 block of Everett Street. The 14-year-old called the 3-year-old's mother to say she was taking the younger girl home to the 1100 block of Moore Street, but the two never showed up. If you have any information, D.C. police want to hear from you. Police in Virginia are warning parents to be on the lookout for men who may be stalking children. Saturday, 3 boys in Stafford County say they were approached by 2 men in a small blue pickup. They say the men asked them to get in the truck, but the boys refused. A similar incident happened to a 12-year-old girl Tuesday in Spotsylvania County. Only this time the stranger was driving a late model silver or gray Buick Skylark. Police say they have increased patrols in the area.
Area police are armed with a new weapon against child abductions.
Taste the best the world has to offer. New Fancy Feast Grilled. Tender grilled cuts of beef, chicken or turkey. There's nothing in the world like it. New Fancy Feast Grilled from Friskies. Good taste is easy to recognize.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore, and love is all that I can give to you.
You work on it.
You think on it.
You play on it.
It was kind of like this dream I'd always
Spend
had.
all day on it.
Getting into something. Chill on
Talk
it.
on it.
homework.
Relax on it.
It's really warm. It's comforting. You entertain on it. Pass the time.
Watch TV.
Romance. Drift away.
Think on it.
Being able to be there for hours.
You spend your life on it. Shouldn't it be the furniture you've always wanted?
And now it's easy with the Simple Finance Plan, only at Ethan Allen.
Furniture built for your life.
At a price you can actually live with.
This morning on our continuing series, Forever Young, A Guide to Life After 50, Living Better Today. All week, in conjunction with Newsweek magazine, we're looking into some ways that older people can live longer and better lives. Today, our focus is on moods. As people move through life, they become increasingly aware that time is precious. Here's how one woman in Berkeley, California is making sure her time is well spent by sharing it with others.
My name is Grace Lowell, and I am 91 years old. And I have a dancing school in Berkeley, California. Thank goodness you're here.
As we head through tonight, mostly clear and cool once again late tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 79. Late on Thursday, could see a passing shower or thunderstorm, and behind that, even cooler air moves into Washington.
Thank you very much. That's an update on the weather. It's 9 after the hour now. Charlie, back to you.
All right, Tony, at the beginning of the half hour, I was talking about the fact that over the past decade, the number of college students studying abroad has doubled. It's become the thing to do, and it's very commendable that students be exposed to overseas cultures. But are the more than 100,000 students in these programs and their parents aware that there can be possible dangers? That question is raised by an article in the latest issue of 17 magazine written by a courageous young woman who has decided to go public about how she was raped in Mexico as a college senior. Allison Aguado is joining us now, along with Janet Alperstein, who is Assistant Dean of Studies and Study Abroad Advisor at Barnard College, and it's good to have both of you here. It is always a difficult thing to do, to talk about rape. It's a very hard thing to do. You wrote about it in a very public journal. Why?
I thought that it was important that other young women should know about the possible dangers, not only in Mexico, but in other countries studying abroad.
You were in Mexico.
I was in Mexico.
When you went off there, did it occur to you it can be dangerous?
It had occurred to me. I had attended the study abroad meetings, and Mexico was painted as this town in Mexico was painted as a very quaint and safe town. They said it was not at all like Mexico City, and that we would have a wonderful time there, and the culture was fantastic.
So you went away relatively reassured?
Yes.
Date rape drug. There is a date rape drug, which we have talked a lot about on this broadcast, that somebody can slip into a drink. It's illegal in the United States, not illegal in Mexico.
I found that out when I was in Mexico.
CSFB Direct. Direct access to 6 leading independent sources of research and to the top-ranked Credit Suisse First Boston analyst reports. That's the difference between online trading and direct investing from CSFB Direct.
After nearly a century of lending and leasing, CIT has learned to ride the ups and downs of changing conditions. We've learned to navigate the ins and outs of complex territories. And we've learned that it takes great strength to reach the top, and even greater balance to stay there. Discover why today's business leaders put their trust in today's financing leader, CIT.
Hi, Fred. Looks like IT will be jumping through hoops again today.
Fred, I sent out an email about the email being down.
I opened that virus just like you told us not to.
Hi, Fred. Looks like another all-nighter. Sorry.
At CDW, we understand what it can be like in IT. That's why you get computing solutions from your highly trained account manager and services designed to make your day a little easier.
What's wrong, Fred? We're only asking the impossible.
CDW, computing solutions built for business.
Yeah, shopping. Now,
Ta-da.
oh yeah, they've got everything and then some. What's nice about this also is that it can be so overwhelming. You walk into Toys R Us and say, I'm here to buy a car seat. Hello, there are so many choices. So it can help streamline that process whether you end up buying online or not. Also, they have a registry. A lot of times people will say, grandparents, I'd like to get you the crib.
So you can register on there?
You can register online, and you can also send links and say, okay, you know, thanks, Mom and Dad. I'm very excited that you want to get the crib. Here's a couple of choices.
That's pretty cool. And finally, babypressconference.com. Come on.
I figured you'd like this one. Now, a lot of people, when they have a new baby, instead of making a million phone calls or sending emails and digital photos, these guys at babypressconference.com have taken it to a whole new level. This is a webcast available.
The guy in the middle there looks like Steve Friedman. Look at him.
It does. It does. I'm pretty sure it's not. However, this is available at about 100 hospitals, but I think it's a prelude of things to come because it's real time and it is just for, you know, parents who are separated by family across the country, across the world. It's magic.
Regina, you're the best, as always. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
3 weeks to you and to Will.
Thank you.
Take the shoes off, will you? Please? You're making me nervous. Up next, a walk on the wild side with leading lady Heather Graham. We'll do that after this.
Fans of The Amazing Race, Thursday morning, come on down to the early show at 59th and 5th and see an Amazing Race team cross the finish line and find out what really went on around the world. It all happens at the early show at 59th and 5th, Thursday.
Quitting smoking? Here, taste this.
Nicorette Orange. Only from Nicorette.
Now, this just may be a flavor I can quit with.
Sometimes victory's so close.
You can taste it.
You can do it. Nicorette Orange can help.
Mounds and Almond Joy, because everybody needs a 5-minute vacation.
This is nice. The only big problem around the country really would be southern Florida, still looking at some thunderstorm activity. So let's talk about what's happening here. We do have a hurricane that's just off the coast, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But here's the line that moved through the area yesterday. Right around, I guess about 12:30, 1 o'clock, we started to have some shower activity move in. And then around 3:34, the thunderstorm started to develop in a few locations. Most of the heavier rainfall was east and southeast of the metro area. And it's all offshore now. Very good news as the cold front has pushed offshore still. It's moving through the Norfolk area. But for the most part, here's a look at rainfall totals. Anything in green is generally about an inch. So you get to around, you know, St. Mary's County and around Charles County, around Dorchester and down to Somerset. And so heavier rainfall. Oh, up to the north, too. In fact, just to the northeast of Baltimore, it was really coming down. I think that's where most of the severe lightning strikes were taking effect. All right, clear in the midsection of the country, in the Great Lakes. Cold front sweeping through the area. Look at this well-defined, impressive hurricane. It is Aaron, and it's been getting dangerously close to the U.S. It's starting to make its movement north now. The cold front that moved through our area is going to help deflect Aaron and move it into some of the shipping lanes of the northern Atlantic, where it will get into some cooler waters and start to, you know, break up just a little bit. It is affecting the U.S., the eastern coastline, in the form of some pretty large seas. Sea swells and surfs about 4 to 6 feet above average, some dangerous rip currents. So, you know, keep that in mind. Watch the posted areas if you are planning to hit the beach in the days ahead, because it could be several days that we'll have these dangerous rip currents. A little bit of rain just around the Outer Banks and, as mentioned, Florida. That is it. Cold front has moved east of the D.C. area. Again, there's Aaron moving off. A little cold front, not really going to do much for us, just kind of sweep across the north of us. But we are watching another system that has a reinforcing shot of cooler air that'll be with us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 67 degrees. We've warmed up 3 in the last hour. 55 in Pittsburgh, 56 in Cincinnati, 58 in St. Louis. It's going to get cooler tomorrow morning than it has been this morning. And
Every kid's got the same problem. Our moms are too busy for lunch, so they want something quick, right? Right. And they say it has to taste good, right? I said right. What are they thinking? I don't have the strength for this.
Betty Crocker thinks lunch should taste great, and delicious Bon Appetits do. Add water, microwave, and in minutes, a rich, creamy pasta Alfredo or a savory herb chicken vegetable rice. Delicious Betty Crocker Bon Appetit lunch bowls.
Thank goodness for Betty Crocker, whoever she is.
In her latest role as host and producer of a new show, Tracey Ullman is taking a closer look at VPL, Visible Panty Lines. That's the name of her take on style, which premieres this Thursday on the Oxygen Cable Network. Each week, Tracey will talk with different stars about how they've achieved their own personal
Here comes
style.
Cindy Crawford. She's 6 months pregnant here. You wouldn't know it, would you?
She's here, she's here.
Cindy
Hello.
Crawford, hello. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Visible Panty Lines.
I don't have any.
No, you don't. What we're here for today is to tell us about your personal style, as well as, your pregnancy style.
Look at Cindy at the very beginning.
Well, this is funny because my mom, she always used to wear that fall and had her hair done. And so for my 4th or 3rd birthday, all I wanted for my birthday was to have my hair done like my mom's. It had so much hairspray in, and they just ratted it. And then my mom took me to ratted. That's like such a, isn't it? We ratted my hair.
It's a little bubble look you got going on here.
I didn't wear it like that every day. It was only for special occasions.
You got the mole here, look.
I do. It's real.
So come on, everybody. This is real.
Tracey Ullman, good morning.
I've got one too.
You know, someone that beautiful is not allowed to be that nice. May I say that about Miss Cindy Crawford?
I thought you were talking about me.
Well, you too.
Oh,
someone as beautiful as you are is not allowed to be that
charming, and I think she just had her baby. She had a little girl.
She did.
Cara? Yes.
Yes, I read that.
That's lovely. Yes, she was very forthcoming.
Was she?
She's
she looked
gorgeous.
incredibly relaxed, like you guys were having fun. So tell me, Visible Panty Lines, what is this about?
What? It's in my office. We've all had a visible panty line at some time in our life. We've probably got one now if we stood up. VPL, you know.
Well, yeah, that's true. But a lot of women deal with that by wearing thongs.
Thong. I can't do the thong.
What do you mean?
Because I digest them.
Well, I like what
during the day.
I like what Minnie Driver said about thongs. Me bum is eating me knickers.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you know, French ones, Italian ones, domestic. I just digest them. You know.
But you know,
so
once you go to thongs, honey, you never go back.
You never go back.
No.
Oh, really?
And then your show would get
Katie?
canceled because there'd be no such thing as visible panty lines.
This is so fun. Behind me, you can see gorgeous models getting their hair and makeup. We are getting ready for a 9 o'clock show here at 7th on 6th. And Diane, this is a huge to-do here in New York City twice a year. It's when all of the top designers preview their upcoming collections. So just when you're shaking out your sweaters, the dust, the mothballs out of your fall collection, here's what's happening for spring 2002. Very ruffly, very feminine look. That's Catherine Malandrino. It's very feminine. Taupe is a huge color for next spring, in case you need to know. The one-piece bathing suit is back and better than ever, thank the Lord. And at Diane von Furstenberg, the little black dress is back and better than ever. Black is always in, and they say for spring it's a big look. This is more than about fashion, though. It's really sort of like the Oscars here in New York. It's the hottest ticket in town. Great parties. On any given day here at the tent on 6th Avenue, you'll see celebrities, socialites, supermodels. Only people who really don't want to be here are people like me, who are pregnant and don't really want to see skinny, beautiful models in clothing that we can't get one leg in. Until today, that all changes. A big moment. For the first time, the elite have allowed a maternity designer to show their collection. This is Liz Lang, and you say you are a fashion designer just like everyone else, but with a little more fabric.
Absolutely. This is just a spring collection like all the collections you're seeing here. All the design influences are the same. It's just that the clothes are a little bit bigger, and only a little bit bigger, as you can see.
Talk to us about some of your looks.
Oh, this is so exciting. This is a new group I've just done with Nike. It's activewear for pregnant women. It's so fabulous. It's just like fashion. Anything you'd want to work out in, show your stomach, look great. Black and white. Black and white is always right for spring. I love a body-bearing look. I think it's so sexy and so chic. Red and a shirt dress. Red is really a new spring basic. It's just always. And shirt dresses continue to be so strong this spring. This is just a collection, just designer clothes.
Well, Congress appropriated $100 million. The whole thing is estimated to cost about $265 million. There have been about 35 pledged from corporations so far. We hope to raise $100 million from the rest of that $100 million from private sources, and that's what this drive is all about. We hope everybody can participate in this. It's everybody should, because you know there's a precedent for this also. I might have preferred myself to see a Congress just appropriate the money and do it. But we have a history. For instance, just a few years ago when they wanted to refurbish the statue on top of the Capitol, that was all done with private funds. So there is some precedent for this.
Senator Glenn, do you feel that Washington, D.C. is the tourist attraction or maybe the tourist mecca that it should be?
Well, no. Well, I think it is probably the biggest single tourist attraction in this country. Every family, you know, we have polls that show that I think it's like 3/4 of the people want to take their family to Washington, want their kids to experience coming to this capital city, this leadership city for the whole world, literally. And so we're, in a way, we're just responding to what the people of this country already want. I'd like to see more visitors to Washington also, not just from a money standpoint of tourists and business, but for the appreciation of what we have here, the Capitol, Arlington, the monuments, Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, things like that I think are very, very impressive and give people a feel of their part, their participation in this country when they have a chance to come here and visit.
Well, sir, before we go, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about your 1998 space mission. And can you tell us what was learned from that mission in terms of aging experiments at that time and since?
Yeah, some of the things are still being looked at from that. What I was up there to see was, you know, when the younger people go up there, they have certain things happen to their bodies. Osteoporosis sets in. The body's immune system changes, become less resistant to disease and infection. Protein replacement in the muscles changes. Now, those are the same things that happen to the elderly to a large extent right here on Earth. So the idea was to compare my reactions to going into space again with the younger people, with the objective of seeing if we can't find out what turns these systems on and off in the human body.
Abner, we're rich.
We're rich?
It's our new litter. It's got diamonds in it.
You are mistaken, my friends. The diamonds are odor-absorbing crystals in new Tidy Cats Crystals Blend.
Whatever.
New Tidy Cats Crystals Blend.
With posted pop-up notes in the handy dispenser, you always know where your notes are. So you won't go nuts looking for nuts. And posted pop-up dispensers also come in these cool colors.
After reviewing the standards file, what?
How's it going, Mom?
Your mom hasn't studied in a long time.
Mom, do you want anything?
Not now, honey.
Okay.
It's more than just that great peanut taste. Choosing Jif is a small, simple way of letting someone know you care.
I thought in case you needed a break or something.
You made that for me?
Moms like you choose Jif.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days. They tell me it actually works to remove cholesterol from your body. Pulls it right out. Helped clip my cholesterol 15 points. That's a whole bunch. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days. It actually works to remove cholesterol from your body. Sucks it right out. Help lower my cholesterol 10 points. That's even more than I bargained for. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
Good morning, I'm Mike Buchanan. In the news at 8:25, Michael Jordan is all but confirmed he will fly again. He's going to return to the basketball court as a Washington Wizard. Michael has confirmed that he will hold a news conference in the next 10 days to announce his final decision. Jordan has been working out in Chicago for the past 6 months. He says he's about an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Be forever in blue jeans. I'm in blue jeans. Do you get it? Forever in blue jeans, babe.
With Weight Watchers, every food has a points value. And now every point works harder than ever. Introducing Winning Points, the way to stay satisfied. Eat what you like and still stay within your daily points range. So you stick with it and lose.
Now, take it off and show it off. Enter Weight Watchers Take It Off, Show It Off sweepstakes. Win a fabulous new $10,000 wardrobe.
Now's the time to join Weight Watchers. For pricing and location information, call 301-770-4115.
Sorry about that.
Our mistake. Sorry.
The Volkswagen Passat. It only looks like $1 million.
Today, cable companies like AT&T control over 70% of high-speed internet connections because they compete under different rules than phone companies. Unless Congress acts, millions will be left behind or with only one choice, their cable company. Now a study says a delay in high-speed internet rollout could cost our economy $500 billion. Tozan Dingle guarantees access to inner cities and small towns and would add billions to our economy. It's time for real competition. Pass Tozan Dingle.
Construction workers in San Francisco have unearthed a buried treasure. They stumbled upon a 150-year-old ship while digging out the basement for a new hotel. Historians say the ship, built in 1840, was used to transport 49ers, the miners, to San Francisco in search of gold. Archaeologists also uncovered bits of cargo, including brass buttons, glass beads, likely intended for trade, and some charred wheat seeds. Now, after more excavation and documentation, apparently they're just going to continue on with their work and bury the ship.
I first became aware of school choice in 1994, when Sharonda was in the 3rd grade. For me personally, school choice is not a political issue, it's a family issue. I'm more than capable of being involved in my child's education. Sharonda has talked to us about becoming a pediatrician. Not only does she want this, but I can actually see it happen. That just warms my heart. I feel good about it, you know? If you give parents a choice, that gives kids a chance. It's about the kids.
Well, we had a wonderful change overnight. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Tom Kieran. We swept out the high humidity, and in comes some fresh, cool, dry air. 67 here at NBC4 and at National Airport with a fresh breeze out of the west-northwest. And it'll be gusting today 10 to 20 miles an hour with bright sunshine, highs reaching the low 80s. Tomorrow, bright and sunny. After a chilly start in the 50s, should reach the upper 70s. And then Thursday evening, there's a slight chance of a passing shower. Otherwise, we've got dry weather into the weekend with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's highs just near 70. Now let's check on that traffic. Jerry Edwards, how's it going this morning?
Tom, it has been a little rocky. Good morning, everyone. Let's head south and show you the outer loop of the Beltway, just crawling from Eisenhower Avenue passing Telegraph Road. An accident there has just been moved to the shoulder, but a very painful trip indeed. It looks like it's improving a little bit, picking up a little bit of speed now on 270 out of Germantown. Back to you.
Thanks, Jerry. Coming up on News 4 at 10, the state of the West Nile virus around our area and the nation. And there's new concern this morning. Another local news update in 25 minutes. Stay with us.
Most people don't mean to be hurtful, but when you're really overweight, you hear all the comments. So you learn to build a wall around yourself to block out what you don't want to hear. Then I overheard someone talking about Jenny Craig, and I'm glad I listened.
There's never been a better time to join Jenny Craig with their personalized one-on-one counseling. And now, for a limited time, lose 20 pounds for $20 plus the cost of food. Call 1-800-JENNY20.
I was at a party recently, and I overheard this woman say she looks absolutely beautiful. And you know what? She was talking about me.
Today, cable companies like AT&T control over 70% of high-speed internet connections because they compete under different rules than phone companies. Unless Congress acts, millions will be left behind or with only one choice, their cable company. Now a study says a delay in high-speed internet rollout could cost our economy $500 billion. Tozan Dingle guarantees access to inner cities and small towns and would add billions to our economy. It's time for real competition. Pass Tozan Dingle.
Relax. Just listen to my voice.
On September 28th,
look in my eyes.
On this quiet street, a stranger will arrive and pass his power to another. From the author of The Green Mile.
Find the Queen of Hearts.
And the director of Shine.
Tell me what you see.
This one here.
Anthony Hopkins. Hearts in Atlantis. Rated PG-13. Sneak preview September 15th. Starts September 28th.
Joan Rivers and Kamet Band on the next Live.
Good morning, America. I'm Diane Sawyer.
And I'm Charles Gibson. Partners in crime, we are right here at our usual post.
Partners in crime. Well, coming up, what are men really thinking? Can we find out from a new show about to debut on television?
The show is only 2 hours. You can't find out what men are thinking.
Oh, I think we got plenty of time before commercial. No. Anyway, Mike Binder has put together a new show, and he hates this, but people do say The Mind of the Married Man, which is its name, is a kind of
Well, it's at least a response to Sex in the City. And we're going to find out exactly what he thinks coming up.
Listen, you do a whole show on, hey, what do you think of them Knicks? Is Jordan coming back? Huh? Hey, did you see the Giant Bronco game last night? Huh?
Got any beers?
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Well, that's it. Can you make a half-hour television show out of that? We'll find out. Also, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, is here to tell us how she's going to help 300,000 people in Wisconsin this coming weekend.
And
all at once, she's going to do that. That's a prodigious task. We'll find out.
More on that now from CNN State Department correspondent Andrea Kopp.
Almost 1 year after the United States agreed to spend $1.3 billion to help Colombia fight its drug war, both governments claim the effort is paying off. The U.S. says 120,000 acres of coca plantations have been sprayed, and 34,000 farmers have agreed to replace their coca plants with legal crops. Still, much of the U.S. military equipment has yet to arrive. To date, only 3 of 16 Black Hawk helicopters, which Colombian troops need to fight drug traffickers, are in use. So the Colombian government says the real work of Plan Colombia, designed to rid the country of drugs and end the civil war, has only begun.
This is a long-term issue that requires an integrated approach, that requires the support of the world community and the work of the Colombian people, as well as the work of people in this country to solve it. Is for the good of all of us.
Complicating matters, the drug traffickers, leftist guerrillas like the FARC and ELN, who use profits from the drug trade to fuel the civil war, have refused to come to the peace table. And while Colombia's president, Andres Pastrana, has tried for 3 years to negotiate peace, his term ends next summer.
Despite the fact that Pastrana is not going to be able to get his peace process by the time he leaves office, you know, it's like the Middle East. You don't look for an easy solution, but you also look for a process to continue.
Secretary of State Powell's trip to Colombia this week is meant to underscore U.S. support for Colombia's drug war and its president.
But privately, Powell's aides worry about what will come of Plan Colombia and the hundreds of millions the U.S. has invested in it once Pastrana leaves office. Said one Powell aide, "We want to make sure our assistance pays off." Andrea Koppel, CNN, at the State Department.
Boss, all right?
All right, Dad, you're the boss.
I'm the boss?
Yes.
Good. You're fired.
Yeah, why would you do that?
It's really fun. It's really fun to abuse Ray. It's just
Ray
really
Romano
is.
and Peter Boyle, good to see you.
Good to see
Thanks
you.
for getting up a little earlier than
That's all
normal
right.
this morning. Nice to have you in. Sixth season?
Sixth season.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, I try not to think of it because I don't believe it.
No?
So don't mention it.
Okay, just that once or
Yeah.
twice. Is it true you played Vegas this summer just to sort of
Yes.
get away?
Well, I still do stand-up, so when we're off, I like to perform still, and I do Vegas like every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Ray hates Vegas.
No, I love Vegas. Yeah.
You weren't with him, I guess.
No.
But that's the...
I went to London and Paris.
Yes, a little more refined in your taste.
To real London and real Paris.
That's my favorite town, Vegas, though. You got to come next time, right?
Yeah, I am. I am.
Hey, I got to ask you right off the bat. My mom always told me it's not too polite to talk about salary, but I've read this everywhere, so I have to say.
Your mom's right.
$800,000 an episode. True.
I don't even know if I get paid.
And a share of the syndication rights, which are just, you know, enormous. $35 million over the next 5 years. I mean, you are ka-ching, the money man.
You have to call my wife because, as far as I know, I don't even know if I get paid. Everything goes through her. I just
don't get paid in cash.
I have clean clothes and food.
Yeah,
that's all.
And nobody's, parked outside your estate.
Do I have an
guards?
estate?
Yeah, the guards. They say, "Oh, it's you, Mr. Romano. You can come in."
I do this for the love of laughter.
Yeah, not bad for a former mattress delivery boy, I guess.
Futon, yes, right here in New
York.
Where I grew
Peter,
up.
you were known mostly as a film actor. We were giving you some grief over there earlier.
Yes.
Mostly Frankenstein is what we remember.
Mostly Frankenstein.
Yeah. Go ahead, do it. Come on.
That's how he is on Monday mornings on the set.
You're used to that,
Exactly,
huh?
just before coffee.
That's right.
Do you like TV?
Do I like TV?
Yeah.
Yes, Jane, I do like TV.
Yeah, better than film?
No, wait a minute.
Oh, I got him.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. 4 cameras is very, very weird. I mean, look at. I mean, there's 4 cameras.
Yes.
In a film, you usually have 1 camera, and you say, "Oh, I go that way."
Right.
See, and then when you have a close-up, the camera's actually close up.
The whole athletic mantra is to push yourself, especially sports such as football. You know, be a man, you know, play till it hurts, can be detrimental to a child.
Even in a year rocked by the deaths of 335-pound lineman Corey Stringer and University of Florida running back Araste Otten.
Even in weather like it is now, where it seems relatively cool, it's still in the 70s. Children can still suffer from heat illness.
It's a tragic fate shared by over 300 Americans each year, some high schoolers, some even younger.
First of all, children are smaller, and they also do not sweat as efficiently as older adolescents and adults do.
In fact, more people died from heat-related injuries than from floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, lightning, and earthquakes combined. Active kid or athlete, the youthful myth of immortality often drives young people to push themselves to extraordinary lengths, unaware that their body's internal thermostat can shoot over 106 degrees in a matter of minutes.
Symptoms of fatigue, headache, nausea, vomiting, severe thirst, really need to be on the lookout for those things.
And down plenty of water and sports drinks and avoid alcohol and soda.
Typically, we say 2 to 3 hours before, anywhere from 15 to 20 ounces of fluid, depending on the individual. And then prior to an athletic event or a practice, a child or adolescent should also hydrate.
Tracy Neal, Fox 5 News.
And athletes, here's something else the doctors share. Drinking a lot of water helps the body max out. So hydrate for health and for a highly charged performance. And remember, you can contact Children's Hospital at 202-884-BEAR or BEAR. Lark?
Thanks, Allison. The Backstreet Boys are taking time out from their performances to help fight a rare illness. The group met with children at a Boston hospital Sunday to raise awareness for lupus. Lupus is an incurable disease that causes the immune system to attack the body's own tissue. Band member Howie Doro says a personal loss motivated him to support the medical effort to fight the disease.
Section 4A states, neither the FCC nor any state shall have authority to regulate the rates, charges, terms, or conditions for any high-speed data service. Toes and Dingle will turn the 4 bell giants loose on America and then prohibit the FCC and all 50 states from protecting us. So, this is why our parents told us to read the fine print.
Just listen to my voice.
On September 28th,
Look in my eyes.
on this quiet street, a stranger will arrive and pass his power to another. From the author of The Green Mile
Find the Queen of Hearts.
and the director of Shine,
Tell me what you see.
this one here, Anthony Hopkins. Hearts in Atlantis, rated PG-13. Sneak preview September 15th, starts September 28th.
Nearly 50 years ago, entertainer Harry Belafonte embarked on an extraordinary project. He set out to research and record the music of Black Americans from the period of their earliest arrival in the New World in the 17th century up through the spirituals, blues, and folk music of the early 20th century. The work was completed 30 years ago, but it's only now that music lovers can enjoy this collection of songs. It's called The Long Road to Freedom, an anthology of black music. Belafonte was principal producer and one of many artists featured on this 80 song box set.
Well, it's free grace, my loving sister, free grace, I'm newborn again. All right now, gather round the rails, boys. Turn that rail to your stomach, head high, float away. Whoa, white man, he called me lazy. Work like me, he soon go crazy. White man, get me all the time.
Do men talk as much about their appearances or ever about their appearances?
I don't think so. not in my experience. Some men do.
Do men talk about relationships at all, or do they save that for home?
Yeah, no. They talk about relationships. They do. They talk about their relationships a lot with each other. More than at least the men that I hang out with. You know, you don't know. There's so many men out there. I think there's a good 1,500 of them at last count. But the ones that I know, the 1,400 that I know, seem to talk about, you know, relationships in terms of what isn't working more than what's working.
In all your research for this, what did you learn about the mind of a married man that you didn't know?
What I think is interesting and where the show's point of view is men want to be married. Men like to be married. They like to complain about it. But if you see a guy who's married get divorced, you know what he does? He runs out and he gets married again. Men like to be married, and single men dream of finding the right person to be married. They're not single because they want to be single. They always think one day they're going to get married. Men like to be married, and that's the point of view of the show.
And very funny.
Thank you.
It's what I've heard. The word around the shop here is that it's truly funny, and it's called The Mind of the Married Man, and it premieres, you should know, on HBO. When does it premiere?
Tonight. There's a sneak preview tonight, and then Sunday night it starts airing after Band of Brothers.
All right. Coming up, men get their revenge. And we'll be right back.
ABC7 is on your side
by making your mornings easier.
And it starts here with our Good Morning Washington promise. From the time you wake up to the time you walk out your door.
You'll get your full weather and traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 7s.
And in between, the latest news from overnight. What happened while you slept? It's our promise to you. Weather and traffic every 10 minutes on the 7s.
Plus the news from overnight.
It's the Good Morning Washington promise, and it's only on ABC7. Proud to be on your side.
Amy? Is Director of Product Development, Paul Noon.
Got it. Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet, the wireless internet, with optical technology that makes it faster.
Overall, this has been an exciting
and more
year.
reliable.
But the next few months will mark the beginning of a new Gesundheit.
Come together.
In fact, with technology changing
over me.
I remember 20 years ago how they turned the racing world upside down. First by introducing a race car with quattro all-wheel drive, and second by having a woman driving.
Leather, lace, and everything in between. It is all moving down the catwalk at Fashion Week in New York. And CNN's Gail O'Neill has been braving the crowds to see what some of us, at least, are going to be wearing, maybe the most pregnant of us. Morning, Gail.
Morning, Carol. I'll tell you, this is the biggest media crush I've seen so far, and it's all over maternity wear. I'm backstage at the Liz Lang maternity show, and it's rock and roll back here. We have media from all over the world. There's been huge buzz surrounding the show. Personally, I'm most excited about this show. Here we have the designer, Liz Lang herself, and several of her models who you can see are actually with child, very pregnant. Liz, tell me, why is it so important for women to shop for this very small window of their lives?
Because you know what? It's not such a small window. It's 9 months, and then it's a few months when you're trying to get your body back. And it's, you know, you're talking about almost a year. Why would a woman want to take a year off of looking fashionable, feeling pretty, feeling great, feeling sexy? She needs to celebrate this time.
Tell me what women's pet, well, actually, I'm going to ask a pregnant woman, what has your pet peeve been when shopping for maternity wear?
I think finding something that fits well. You know, when you're not pregnant, you're always looking for something that fits the body, and then when you're pregnant, all of a sudden, everything's huge everywhere, and you really only need huge in a few areas, and that's why Liz Lang has done such a great job to make it hip and chic, and, you know, your life continues. You know, this whole year, you still have to work, you have to work out. You know, I'm a professional tennis player, and Liz Lang created a line for Nike, and it's so fantastic because I can keep doing my aerobics, my yoga, and tennis.
And looking good while you're doing it.
Both. Both. I mean, we wanted to be able to make certain statements, but we also wanted food that would translate into today's kitchen.
Okay. Make a statement about the 40s. Why'd you choose lobster thermidor?
Oh, boy. It's just one of those dishes. I remember my grandparents talking about it, and it was a warhorse of the 40s. Delicious, but always kind of rich and overdone. I usually like lobster plain, steamed with a little butter.
Yeah. This is terribly French.
But this is so good.
Yeah,
and it doesn't kill
good.
the lobster.
It's
really delicious.
It doesn't kill the lobster? You mean this guy's going to be live split in half?
I mean it doesn't kill the lobster flavor.
Oh, okay.
And then we've got these great mojitos.
Thank you.
Now, you're very welcome. Cheers.
What's in a mojito?
Mojito is white rum, lime juice, mint, and a little sugar muddled all together. People, you know, the kids today think that they invented mojitos. They're in the bars now. They're very popular. My grandparents were drinking mojitos in Havana at Sloppy Joe's in the 40s.
Okay.
It's great, great cocktail.
Are these the children's versions? Did we?
Oh, boy, are you grumpy?
I'm just curious. No, I'm just curious. All right, this is the one you and I are going to fight about, the 50s.
Okay.
The 50s, the decade when people had no imagination. You're going to tell me they were making this soup?
They were making this soup. Boy, and we published this
Zan.
recipe a lot.
Really?
Because of the electric blender. The electric blender
People used it to make Tang, that's all.
No, the Tang wasn't even around until the 70s. The electric blender was originally a bartender's tool. Fred Waring, the band leader, fell in love with it for making his daiquiris. He popularized this, and it came into the kitchen, and it cut a lot of time out of...
the 50s the dark ages for food?
Well, frozen foods, I guess, came in. But no, we had good recipes then.
All right, the 60s.
All right, now the 60s must have been 10 years too long for you because cheese fondue was the most popular dish.
Not in my neighborhood.
Not in your neighborhood. Okay, well, it sure was in mine.
Do you know the two people in the car that actually hit the bus are refusing treatment at this time? Whether or not they were seriously injured, we do not yet know. But you can see here the bus appeared to have been going through the intersection when the car ran into the bus. It happened just before 8 o'clock this morning. The kids are DC students that were headed to Accotink Academy in Springfield, Virginia. They're DC special needs students that were headed to that academy. But again, Lark, none of the children was seriously injured as far as we know at this time. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much for that update. Michael?
Well, they began as 16 singles on a cruise ship headed for Aruba, but only one couple remains at the end. It can only be one thing, the maiden voyage of Love Cruise. That's tonight at 9 on Fox. But right now, Holly Morris is live in Southeast this morning aboard our own cruise ship, the Odyssey, preparing for our own Love Cruise. Holly, wonderful tips we've been getting from your singles today.
I know, it was a quiet bunch to start. It's a quiet bunch to start, but they have really opened up here as the sun shines brighter this morning on our Love Cruise. And what we are going to do right now is we are going to prepare all the singles out there on how to find their own Love Cruise, because you may not know this, but more than 50% of the population is comprised of singles. So there's a lot of you out there, and Vivian Pommier of West End Travel is going to help you embark on your own maiden voyage of some fun and excitement and romance. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning, and we're ready to cruise. You know, this bunch is so much fun. They'd be great just to take on a vacation, and I'm sure you'd meet quite a lot of people.
And now, did you just say you're giving them all a discount? Is that what you said on the next cruise? See, you guys, I'm working for you. Okay, listen up. Let's go ahead and start, and we're going to start with the Windjammer Cruises, because Windjammer is the one that owns the boat.
Owns the Mandalay.
That they're using in Love Cruise tonight.
In Love Cruise tonight. Now, they have 6 ships, but they use, they're all tall ships. And they're beautiful ships, and they only take between 64 and 138 people. Now, they have specific weeks that they cater to the singles crowd. One of those is December 3rd to 8th, another December 10 to 15, again in January, and April 22nd. Now, what you want to do is think of somebody to go with, or if you can't, they will find somebody that you can team up with and share a cabin.
Wow, they'll actually matchmake you?
Your condition could worsen, requiring further medical treatment and costing you more money.
To start your way to a heart-healthy life, join us for the American Heart Walk Saturday, October 20th. For more information, call this number.
Howard Hughes lived the American dream. He was wealthy beyond belief, dated beautiful movie stars, and made record-breaking flights. But the man who could have it all for years just wanted to be left alone. Because of that, much of his life has remained a mystery until now. Author Richard Hack uncovers America's first billionaire in his new book, simply called Hughes. Richard Hack, good morning. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
You say, I'm fine, thank you. You say this is a different perspective on Howard Hughes because the other books have been written based on stories told by people who knew him. You think this is his point of view. How could that be?
Well, I made the effort to try to get inside his mind. This is you know, he was America's first billionaire, and he was a famous film producer after all. He did, you'll recall, The Outlaw with Jane Russell and the Breasts, and he won the first Oscar award for the best comedy film. He also flew around the world setting records. He also bought half of Las Vegas, and he also was America's #1 defense contractor, and he dated all those beautiful women that you know, Katharine Hepburn,
right.
Bette Davis, Lana Turner. But the fact was, this is a man that absolutely was elusive. to everyone who knew him. They knew him
Elusive.
differently. So you interview someone, and they will give you a different story each time.
He demanded his privacy. He was obsessive about it, and yet he had the people who work for him keep detailed records of every move he made, from the time he ate to the time he went to the bathroom. Why?
This is the story. He did not have that done. They did it so they could keep track and refer to it, because he was so compulsively controlling that when he would talk to them, they'd have to know exactly what he was talking about. He had an incredible memory.
Did he know they were keeping these records?
No. He did not know they had the records, and when he found out about it, he wanted them all destroyed as they were going. He thought they were destroyed. The fact that they weren't destroyed would have killed him if he hadn't already been dead.
And it's some of those documents that were kept about him that you scoured to write this book.
Over 110,000 pages I rifled through.
You say he was
satisfied. Eat what you like and still stay within your daily points range. So you stick with it and lose.
Now, take it off and show it off. Enter Weight Watchers Take It Off, Show It Off sweepstakes. Win a fabulous new $10,000 wardrobe.
Now's the time to join Weight Watchers. For pricing and location information, call 301-770-4115.
Looking for home furnishing of exceptional value and quality? Then come to Galahans and see a wide selection of the area's finest furniture, all at 30 to 50% off every day. Discover the unique shopping experience of Galahans. And right now, receive up to $1,000 back on Century Savoy. From traditional to transitional, Galahans is your complete home furnishing destination. Take I-95 south to Fredericksburg, Virginia. Come for the selection, buy for the discounts.
Morning. How'd you sleep?
Good.
I slept great. Must be that fresh mountain air, you know? Nothing like it.
Over sacred ground at Wounded Knee, South Dakota. We helped make that happen.
Speechless. The energy, the feeling, the story, everything is just here.
I love you, Alan. Rest in peace.
You're on your way to Hawaii. Aloha.
Scott Butler's wish was to see Pearl Harbor, Hawaii before he died. Through the help of a letter written by a family friend, his wish came true. And there's more. Last month, Scott was made an honorary member of the Kentucky State Police and promoted to colonel by the governor himself.
We're proud of you and the courage that you've shown, and we're proud to have you as one of us.
He's been through a lot, and this has been a real uplifting thing for him. Dreams do come true, and Scott is a result of that.
5 letters, 5 impossible dreams, 5 wishes that came true.
Oh, and thank you so much. Oh, my God.
Along the way.
What do you hope fans get out of this?
I just hope that they enjoy the record. You know, it's just a nice collection of music and has a nice groove to it through most of the record. And just as with any record that I would do, just hopefully that they, like listening to it.
Amy Robach, Fox 5 News.
Thank Designer Week at Ross. And you can do it too.
Designer Week at Ross. Don't miss it.
What makes you smile?
Every day at McDonald's, we're serving up a variety of great tastes at breakfast. Whether you like scrambled eggs with pancakes, Egg McMuffins, sausage biscuits with egg, or our delicious bagel sandwiches, we've got something hot, fresh, and made to order just for you. And remember, no breakfast is complete without coffee and the cool, fresh squeezed taste of Minute Maid orange juice. Start off your day, every day, with breakfast variety at McDonald's.